On Thursday, the Trump regime directed the U.S. Department of Agriculture to remove its websites documenting or referencing the climate crisis. By Friday, key resource pages on the U.S. Forest Service website providing crucial wildfire vulnerability assessments, research and adaptation tools had been taken down. Visitors were met with error pages or a single line saying, "You are not authorized to access this page." A directive from the USDA's Office of Communications instructed agency website managers to identify and archive or unpublish any landing pages focused on climate change. The order also required officials to compile a spreadsheet listing of all such references by Friday for further review. This move is one of many sweeping actions taken in the first 2 weeks of Trump's presidency to reshape the federal government and reverse efforts to combat global warming. Trump has repealed environmental protections implemented by Joe Biden, declared an unnecessary energy emergency to accelerate fossil fuel extraction and withdrawal from the Paris Climate Agreement. Meanwhile, confusion has spread within federal agencies due to hiring freezes, paused projects, and a broad buyout offer promising federal workers pay and benefits through September if they resign within the next week. It remains unclear what will happen to the removed web pages, studies, and policies on climate change, and while links to these pages are still live, the information itself has now been blocked. For now, the administration has effectively restricted access to vital climate tools and research, resources designed to assist communities ranging from farmers and firefighters in adapting to changing conditions. As climate disasters intensify, from devastating wildfires to relentless hurricanes and record-breaking heat waves, the Trump administration has once again taken a step that threatens to deepen the crisis, formally withdrawing the United States from the Paris Agreement, and in the midst of a worsening climate emergency that is upending lives and economies. This decision raises urgent questions. What does it mean for global climate efforts when the world's largest historical emitter walks away? And what are the consequences for Americans already bearing the mounting costs of a warming planet? Since its adoption in 2015, the Paris Agreement has stood as a landmark of global cooperation, uniting nearly 200 nations in a shared commitment to curb emissions and limit warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. While progress has been uneven, the accord has fostered transparency and innovation and international competition in clean energy. It's also proven that addressing climate change is not just a responsibility, but an economic opportunity. Trump's withdrawal does not reflect a failure of the Paris Agreement, but rather a failure of U.S. leadership. The United States now joins Iran, Libya, and Yemen as the only countries not participating. Despite America's retreat, other nations remain committed, strengthening their climate targets to uphold the agreement's goals. Yet this withdrawal sends a troubling message. The U.S. is an unreliable partner. It weakens global cooperation at a time when unity is critical and amplifies the influence of China. The question now is whether global momentum can outpace the absence of U.S. federal leadership. With the next decade being crucial for mitigating climate change, federal inaction will have a widespread consequence. Climate disasters are already costing the U.S. over $100 billion annually, displacing families and claiming lives. By abandoning the Paris Agreement, the Trump administration forfeits America's ability to influence global emissions policies, putting Americans at even greater risk. If you can't remember the last time you slept all night or didn't feel stressed during the day, you need to hear about CBD from CB Distillery. They've got natural solutions for sleep and stress that people can't stop raving about. Check out some of their 48,000 five-star reviews. The best sleep I've got in years. I wake up feeling refreshed and ready to go. Now, it's not just sleep. They have plant-based solutions to help with stress, mood, and focus, even pain after exercise, all made with high-quality, clean ingredients. Look, there's a lot of CBD out there, but I trust CB Distillery for their commitment to quality, and that's why they have over 2 million satisfied customers and offer a 100% money-back guarantee. If you're still struggling with sleep, stress, or other health concerns, maybe it's time to try something different. CBD from CB Distillery. And I have a 20% discount to get you started. Visit cbdistillery.com and use code 5MIN for 20% off. That's cbdistillery.com, code 5MIN. cbdistillery.com. The economic implications are also stark. With the world transitioning to a clean energy economy, the US risks losing its leadership position, missing out on job creation, technological advancements, and long-term cost savings. The Inflation Reduction Act has already driven historic investments in renewable energy, yet federal policies that undermine climate action threaten to derail this progress. Donald Trump has already said that he doesn't want wind turbines in America, doesn't want them built here or installed here. This apparently leads back to an issue he had in Scotland with his own golf course and him wanting wind turbines removed from the view in the distance and losing a legal case. He's also claimed that solar is not something that he wants to support here either. Despite the federal withdrawal, hope remains. Across the country, states, cities, businesses and communities are stepping up. The America is All In coalition, which emerged after Trump's first withdrawal in 2017, continues to drive climate action with over 5,000 stakeholders engaged. The bipartisan U.S. Climate Alliance, representing 24 states and more than half of the U.S. economy, remains committed to Paris Agreement goals. Additionally, former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg has pledged to cover U.S. financial obligations under the Paris Agreement, just as he did after Trump's 2017 withdrawal. His contributions, totaling over $15 million, will support the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change and ensure the U.S. continues tracking and reporting emissions to the UN. While federal leadership wanes, a determined coalition of local leaders, businesses, and international allies is working to keep the US on a path towards climate action. Having a climate change denier in the White House, calling climate change a hoax and Democrat stuff, being in bed with big oil and seeking to drill baby drill at a time when our cities are burning, proves that the stakes have never been higher and the time for action has never been more urgent. I'm Anthony Davis. You can find me on the 5 Minute News YouTube channel and podcast, on Wednesdays co-hosting Uncovered, and on Sunday on The Weekend Show with Midas Touch.